by seven-time champion Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie, walk us through that wild and crazy race from your perspective.
Yeah, wild and crazy night for sure. Very strong performance for us. Really proud of the guys and keeping our chins up through the last 4 weeks. We've had fast cars and really haven't had the results to show for it. So to put together a solid race, start to finish, great pit stops, fast car, be a threat. We needed more long runs, and there was only one long run in the whole race. And we were up there battling for the lead with Kyle. So I wish there were more long runs because our car just didn't have that short run speed in it. But we still salvaged a great day out of it with the Ally Chevy.
Good deal. We're going to open up the floor for questions. Again, if you have a question for Jimmie, please raise your hand. We'll get to you. We're going to start with Jeff Gluck. Go ahead with the question, Jeff.
Yeah, Jimmie, when you take stock of how you guys ran as a company today, I mean, I know there was incidents that happened and stuff like that, but I mean, do you feel decent about your short track package at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had many short track races. Bristol is pretty unique. When I think of Phoenix, we didn't have a race winning car in Phoenix, and that race is so important at the end of the year that I feel like we still have some work to do, but great showing here. And then obviously our mile-and-a-half stuff and the 550 package in general, we're much more competitive this year. So a lot of optimism, but I still think we need to refine our package a bit more through the bulk of the year and set up well for the playoffs.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead with your question, Jordan.
Jimmie, there's been a lot of talk about why the Hendrick cars have been so fast this year and kind of Chevrolet as a whole. Denny Hamlin mentioned earlier this week he thought it was the redesigned Camaro and how Chevrolet got to kind of tweak it specifically for this package. Is that the key to why Chevrolet has been so strong this year through the early parts of the season?
Yeah, without a doubt, that new Camaro has been a huge help for us. I think through last year's events and NASCAR taking the three makes, taking those cars after the race is over and blowing them in the wind tunnel, they saw the situation and they allowed Chevrolet to build a new Camaro and bring it out to get us up on par with the Toyotas and the Fords. So this year we feel like we are much more in the ballpark and much more on an equal with them with the 550 package.
What kind of advantages do you guys give you that you've had 1 year of this rules package, then you were able to tweak the car to kind of fit the rules package?
Yeah, I mean, with the low horsepower, it's really about efficiencies, and it kind of tells a story that back when we didn't have these restricted engines, the Chevrolets were creating downforce in kind of an inefficient manner, but it didn't matter because we had the horsepower to pull us through it. Last year, that was pretty obvious when we raced the 550 package that we had trouble. We couldn't trim the cars out to the lengths that the other manufacturers could and weren't competitive. Then after NASCAR studied it long and hard, they realized that they needed to do something, and they let us have a new car this year. And between that, and I think we have a new engine block that they approved for the year. That engine block is a lot lighter and certainly helps on days like today. So it's their job to keep equality, and they allowed us to make those changes and bring us up to par with the other two makes.
Thank you very much.
Our next question will come from Luis Torres. Go ahead, Luis.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So, all things considered has happened in the 2 weeks. How satisfied are you with the progress that you and Cliff have done, especially with that long layoff to now, putting on strong runs, just a matter of getting close to a victory that's all missing?
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, I felt like when the lockdown and quarantine started, we had momentum on our side, and I was really bummed that we couldn't see that through. And then to kind of sit on ice for 8-9 weeks, whatever it ended up being, and come back and really actually be stronger than we were before the lockdown happened is really a testament to everybody at Hendrick and the leadership that Cliff, on Cliff's side and what he's doing with these crew guys. So I felt like we would be good, but we definitely stepped it up after the lockdown lifted, and now that we're back racing.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Jimmie, in Darlington, you made a mistake in that first race. Kyle Busch, he made a mistake in the second race. Chase Elliott, kind of took the blame for the late wreck today. Is there more pressure on you guys? Is there a reason why we're seeing all the great drivers, make a mistake or have an issue at some point in these last 5 races?
No, I just think we do a nice job of making it look easy. And then, when you cross the line, stuff goes wrong. We walk that tightrope day in and day out, and 100% is really all the car can take. And you step over it and create situations that take you out if you try too hard. So I think it's more impressive that we fooled you guys for so long, making it look easy on track, and our true colors finally showed through.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Jim Utter. Go ahead with your question, Jim.
Jimmie, you guys have obviously shown speed this season. You, as a collective group, won 10 stages already, which is 2 more than you guys had all of last year, I believe. But together you also have 2 wins. The absence of wins, do you think is more circumstances regarding to the racing, or do you think there's still some gains left to be made as an organization?
We always want to be stronger. There's no doubt, but I feel like there's probably 2 races that I could have been in contention to win, 3 including today. I think Chase could be sitting here with maybe 5 in a row if things go his way, 4 or 5 in a row, however many that would be. So I do think that HMS is very strong. I do think we've left some wins on the table as a group, unfortunately.
Thanks.
Our next question will come from Stephen Conley. Go ahead with your question, Steve.
Jimmie, you've had a lot of success at Atlanta. Now you guys get a week off, almost like normal, going back to that racetrack, but you haven't had a lead lap finish since 2017. What are your expectations, and what have you guys worked with as a team collectively trying to get HMS back to the front in winning condition for Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta last year was really an eye-opening experience for HMS. When I look back at the year, that track is so hard on tires and really tells you what kind of aero balance you have and setup that you have to go with that. And we should have known then that we needed to make some big changes. But when I look at this year and going to California Speedway, that surface is a lot like Atlanta. So I feel like Darlington, Fontana, Atlanta, those tracks kind of all act the same. They're not identical, but pretty good, comparison between them all. So I'm really excited to go back to Atlanta. It's one of my favorite racetracks to compete at. Been able to win there over the years, and I know of late it's been tough for us, but I really expect us to have a strong performance there.
Thanks, Jimmie.
Our next question will come from Michelle Martinelli. Go ahead with your question, Michelle.
Hi, Jimmie. The headlines the last few days have been dominated by protests, including in Charlotte, against police brutality and people demanding justice for George Floyd. What is your reaction to that?
Yeah, I've watched it all, and the circumstances are just crazy and unacceptable. I am for protesting, peaceful protesting. I hope there's more of that tonight. I know there are concerns, especially in the Charlotte area, near my home, that there could be protesting tonight. So the voice, the message needs to be clear, but I think being peaceful is really the right way to send a message here, and I hope that everybody stays safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Deb Williams. Go ahead with the question, Deb.
Hi, Jimmie. I kind of want to follow up a little bit on what you were.
Oh, Deb, you muted yourself, my friend. We'll try it one more time.
How's that?
Okay, we can hear you
There
now.
we go.
Okay, sorry about that. Jimmie, I kind of want to follow up a little bit on what Pockrass and you talked about crossing the line. Because of not having any practice, and of course no qualifying, but particularly the practice, has that narrowed that line as far as crossing it? Has that made it more difficult, I guess, to say, in far of knowing where that line is?
I don't think so. I mean, I think if it's, an incident, the opening laps, you could chalk it up to not having practice or something there. But I honestly think that it's a product of what NASCAR is today. And when you back up to stages in the way that we raced for stages, then we now have championship points awarded or points being paid out in the stages. We know that cautions breed cautions. Track position is more important than it's ever been with this 550 downforce package and the big spoiler on the back of the car. You just keep stacking things up that make you drive as hard as you can every single lap. And when you live that close to the edge, you're going to step over. Just that simple.
Thank you.
Well, Jimmie, thanks for taking the time. Enjoy a couple days off, and we'll see you at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Take care now.
See ya.